Do you love to read and enjoy writing?
Would you like to explore the beautiful language of Chaucer, Shakespeare, Milton, Tennyson and Joyce?
Do you wish that your love of words could help you find a challenging and satisfying career?
If so, studying English at International University is just for you.
Learn to read,
Learn to write,
learn to speak,
learn how language works,
obtain a sense of the remarkable diversity,
acquire an independent mind,
learn how the English language has shaped itself through the history,
acquire a source of joy and pleasure that will sustain you as long as you live, and pass it along to the next generation.
learn with us.
Welcome to International University.
Welcome to English Language and Literature.
Greetings.
Welcome.
How do you, fellas?
Good morning.
Hello, mates.
How do you do?
Hello.
Hey Hussein, I'm really glad you decided to come over to my library to study for the upcoming exam. The English language history seems to be very difficult. I've covered all the materials, but I'm still not sure about my performance this Friday.
Well, yeah, I mean, the test is going to be pretty hard, but since you've covered up all the materials, I think you should be adequately prepared. I mean, I've read and I've studied all the chapters, but I haven't studied the notes from the lecture. I mean, do you know what we should take a little review about the 3 chapters, starting from the first chapter and then go all the way up till third. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's start.
Okay. Well, in the chapter 1, as far as I remember, the book covers up all the very first stages of England's invasion. Do you know who were the first people who invaded England?
Yeah, I think I do. As far as I remember, first the Celts were mentioned and then the Romans.
Oh yeah, you got it. Yeah, good job.
But thank you, Hussein. But I think that Celts migrated and then the Romans invaded
Well,
England.
you're on the right track. I definitely remember the presentation when our professor graphically represented, you know, the stages throughout the years of invasion of England.
Yeah.
I mean, that presentation was excellent.
Yeah, well, in chapter 2, the book discusses the Germanic settlements. Those are the Anglo-Saxons, you know.
Yes.
Here we have a real history of cultural identity along with the Christianity adoption. What else can you remember?
Well, I mean, when it comes to Anglo-Saxon, there is a lot to be said. But the one thing that comes up in my mind is that specific poem.
Yeah, I know it.
About the warrior who abandoned his kingdom, his castle.
Yes, it's the Seafarer, and it goes like this.
Where is the horse gone? Where the rider? Where the giver of treasure? Where are the seats at the feast? Where are the revels in the hall? Alas for the bright cup! Alas for the mailed warrior! Alas for the splendor of the prince! How that time has passed away, dark under the cover of night, as if it had never been. Now there stands in the trace of the beloved troop a wall wondrously high, wound round with serpents. The warriors taken off by the glory of spears, the weapons greedy for slaughter, the famous fate and storms beat these rocky cliffs. Falling frost fetters the earth, the harbinger of winter. Then dark comes, and night shadows deepen. From the north there comes a rough hailstorm in malice against men. All is troublesome in this earthly kingdom. The turn of events changes the world under the heavens. Herbith feuch lene, herbith freund lene, herbith mon lene, herbith mei lene, ealthith earthan yestal idel vertheth. Now we march forward into the unknown.
Oh yeah, thanks about it. I mean, I feel pretty good about chapter 2. But I think we should have a little break. What do you say?
Oh, come on. The test is tomorrow and we have to be ready.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, you can grab us a coffee.
Yeah, sure. Okay, here's the coffee. Enjoy.
Yes.
And
Thank
we
you.
stopped at chapter 3, right? The Vikings. I have read this chapter twice on top of reviewing all my lecture notes.
Yeah.
And I found it really fascinating. Do you know that there is even a show made about famous Vikings?
That's the reason I know everything about the Vikings. I mean, thank you HBO. You know, I've learned everything about
Yeah.
them.
I take life in feet that glisten like steel in the sun. I bite my enemies and tear at them. I come in dragon ships with shield and sword. I live for the battle and the glory of the end. I am feared among many, though a few can speak my tongue. Life to me is victory or death. I reign and pillage at will. I shall be remembered only in song and myth. When the time has long passed, the legend of my fearful days will live on. Terrified children and women in the night. I am a Norseman, a Viking by the name.
I have to ask you something. Have you ever imagined what would have happened if three warriors from different three periods have met? For example, a Roman, an Anglo-Saxon, and maybe a Viking.
Well, I mean,
Who
that's a
would have
good
won?
that's a good question, but they definitely wouldn't talk about their achievements and their strength, would they?
I don't think so. Those are men. They have to compare themselves. It's in your blood. I suppose that a Roman would say something like,
I hate how foreign invaders defile our beautiful Britain. You are no welcome here.
The weaker fears the stronger. We have shaped your language. Without us, you wouldn't know that today is Thursday, and the hell is what you experienced upon our siege when we slaughtered you.
I stick a knife to your heart if you hadn't come as a friend. That being said, I must show false love towards you.
Enough, you beasts. This island wouldn't be yours if we hadn't crossed the narrow sea first.
These brutes don't realize that we brought the following words in the English language: acumen, atrocity, futile, beast, island, language, sea, dark.
Dear audience, you use these words in English which come from Old Norse. Ransack, law, troll, saga, reindeer, dirt, mire.
My beloved, the core of English comes from the Anglo-Saxon. These are our words: axe, hammer, knot, kiss, take, under, old, moon, keen, nail.
Well, finally something different. A little bit romantic though. It's about the Normans. And I also think that's your favorite historical period, am I right?
I'm glad you asked. It doesn't necessarily mean that only because I'm a girl that's my favorite period. I think that Viking women were true warriors.
Really? I mean, come on, you're full of surprises. When it comes to Normans, I mean, the first associations is, I don't know, French courts, beautiful ladies, and definitely Robin Hood. I mean, yeah, he's one of a kind.
Well, truth to be told, I have always supported Robin Hood. Do you know that according to the legend, he was in love with Maid Marian?
Wow.
Whether she's a myth or not, it is nice to have her in the Robin Hood stories.
Oh, lucky Robin. I mean, I envy that guy, you know, all of the adventures in the woods and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like one modern camping, should I say.
And how did he address his Maid Marian? Climbing up the woods and sending love letters by his arrows? That probably have swept Maid Marian off her feet.
The Earl of Huntingdon, nobly born, for he was a noble blood. To Marian went, with good intent, by the name of Robin Hood. Oh, hold thy hand, said Robin Hood, and thou shalt become one of my string, to range in a wood with bold Robin Hood, to hear the sweet nightingale sing. When Marian did hear the voice of her love, her herself she did quickly discover, and with kisses sweet she did him greet like a most loyal lover. With bold Robin Hood his Marian did see, good Lord, what clipping was there, with kind embraces, a jobbing of faces, providing a gallant cheer. At last they ended their merriment and went to walk in the wood, where Little John and Maid Marian attended on bold Robin Hood.
But now to conclude, an end I will make, in time as I think it good, for the people that dwell in the north can tell of Marian and bold Robin Hood.
And now is the time about early modern English, the Tudors, the Restoration, the King James I, yeah, and definitely my favorite, King Henry VIII.
Really?
Yeah.
Henry VIII is your favorite one? Stop kidding me.
Yep, he is. I mean, polygamy is modern right now, so no, I'm just kidding. He's not my favorite.
Do you know that he actually killed 2 of his wives, even Queen Elizabeth's mother?
Really?
Yeah.
King Henry VIII, 1509 to 1547, known popularly for his 6 wives, 2 of whom he had executed, Elizabeth's mother, and as defender of faith he introduced the Reformation into England and established the England monarch as head of the Church of England, the Anglican Church. Elizabeth I, 1558 to 1603, known as the Virgin Queen, daughter of Anne Boleyn and Henry VIII. She was a resolute defender of Protestantism as the state religion of England. Some scholars surmise the Queen had a personal kinship with the playwright who alludes to her in the second act of Midsummer Night's Dream. She was a close horse. Even though she is remembered for her high fashion, it is surprising to know just how expensive Elizabeth's wardrobe was. According to one estimate, she may have owned as 2,000 pair of gloves.
How about late modern English? Can you give me some hints? I think I forgot everything.
We have dozens of examples and names and periods about the... I mean, do you remember about we've talked about Shakespeare?
Oh my God, how could I forget? He's the most important character of them all.
Every one of us had that assignment to do about his life and work, you know, and we have also watched his documentary.
Yeah, I remember now.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. There have their exit and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shiny morning face creeping like a snail, unwillingly to school. And then the lover, shining like a furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like a paw, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good gape and line, with eyes severed and beard of formal cut, full of wise sauce and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The sick sage shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and punch on side, his youthful hose, well saved, a world too wide for his shrank shank and his big manly voice, turning again towards childish trouble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that end this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Come again.
Bye.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
See ya.